Trap bar is good for nothing, son. Trap bar is good for nothing. So caveat to this one was that we did one on Zoom. It was probably about 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we got talking about the trap bar, and it was a pretty good episode.
It was good.
I hope I can live up to the same explanation now, but we'll see. And he was on the trap bar, right, and not being a substitute for the deadlift. And we just ended up losing it, didn't we?
Yeah.
It just kind of got lost. So we decided to cover it again because I think it's a really people get this twisted all the time, don't they? You know, like trap bar versus barbell deadlift. And they seem to think, and I had this experience when I came into this world of strength training, that you can just substitute a barbell deadlift for a trap bar deadlift, and that's like fine, you know? But they're two very different lifts. And actually, I think, and I'm going to straight up say this, and I know this is going to annoy a lot of people, but I'm going to explain my thoughts. The trap bar is good for nobody. Straight up.
Yeah.
There's some people sit on the fence.
Yeah, you're going for it. Yeah.
On this one, mate, I'm going for it because I feel strongly about this one. And hey, you know, if someone wants to prove me wrong on my points and they want to come on and they want to sit here and have a chat with me about it, then more than welcome, you know?
So you're saying for strength development, for whatever, someone wants to use it for jumping with develop power, you're saying trap bar is...
I didn't like it at all.
Second
in
line
like
to
it
it.
at all.
Yeah.
So when you look at the deadlift, right, because I'm going to rant, mate, right, I'm going to go off on one, yeah. So I want to hear your thoughts first, like trap bar. Like, what's your experience with trap bar? Like, you're smiling. Jim's just like, I got one in my gym. Fuck.
I actually haven't. I've never owned a trap bar.
You never
myself,
owned a trap bar,
but,
right?
Yeah. Where I used to work, I used to use the trap bar. I'll say all the time. I used to be like, I'll use the trap bar. Maybe it was like an ego-driven thing because I could put more weight on there and I could lift more weight with that. But that for me is because it's almost like a hybrid between a squat and a deadlift.
Yeah.
Like you're getting so much more quad recruitment for me anyway.
Yeah.
And then I used to use it because I'd read like things on, if you're an athlete, you should use the trap bar and you should like load it lighter and then jump with it and do explosive stuff like that. So I used to use that. And then I can remember attending, I think, seminars years ago and things, and in like personal training, I don't know, courses and stuff I'd done and things, education, or it was like, use the trap bar with clients because it's safer.
Yeah. Well,
So it was like, for me, I was like, oh, well, I shouldn't go to the aggro then of trying to teach a client, how to safely deadlift with a barbell, because risk versus reward, they don't need the barbell deadlift, so I should just stick with the trap bar. That's what I was kind of ingrained into me.
Right.
So for a while, a good period of time, I would only give clients trap bar deadlifts. So it'd be trap bar deadlifting one day, they may be, and then I can remember at the same time, it was like back squats. Back squats, shouldn't be used with general population. It should be Bulgarian split squats.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name where I got that from, but I can remember shamefully, it would be like, no, we don't back squat. We don't barbell deadlift because it's too much risk versus reward for your back. So we'll trap bar deadlift and Bulgarian split squat.
do you know, and it's such an important description what you've just outlined there, because this is out, like, coaches get taught this, So we have to go back to the reason as to why people come to us, right? People come to us because they want a result, right? They want an outcome. In my case, there is, and with your case, well, really to be more resilient, right? To be stronger, to be more capable, right? And so the reason as to why coaches say don't deadlift, don't squat, is because they're afraid to expose you, the client, to a stress. Because they don't either A, know how to teach that movement properly, and they're not confident in teaching that movement properly. B, they don't know how to program that movement, so they give you too much weight, or they just don't know how to periodize properly. Usually it's the first one, but the second one happens often as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen programs before where someone, I don't know, they're supersetting a deadlift with something else, you know,
Yeah.
which is just
Crazy.
where yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy, mate. And so there's that, absolutely, you know, and so what happens then over and over and over again is that when people perform these movements and they misapply to the person, they get injured. But of course, that there isn't a reason not to do it. It's because you just don't know how to execute it properly and you don't know how to program it properly. So then coaches will adopt this whole philosophy. We don't deadlift, we don't squat, because our experience tells us that's what gets people hurt. But it isn't what gets people hurt. You get people hurt, right? Am I a bit much today? Am I like too full on? No, am I okay?
No, this is like edgy Sam.
This is
like
edgy Sam.
After dark.
After dark. After dark.
Yeah.
I've come in hot today,
Yeah.
haven't I? I've come in hot. But it's the fault of the coach, right? So then we go back to like what actually gets people a result. What gets people a result is exposing people to stress in the right way. And it's basic biology. When you're exposed to a stress, you then adapt to that stress because you're disrupting your homeostasis. And the stress has to be progressive over time. If it's not progressive over time, then you're just going to stay the same. And what the sort of standard model is out there in the fitness industry, vertical torso, look straight ahead, quads, chest up, you know, don't expose that low back.
Yeah, on the back squat now, you mean, or on the deadlift?
Both.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like both. Like chest up, you know, shoulders over bar, right? Like, because they don't want to put that back at a horizontal angle because, of course, you're going to stress it more. But my whole argument is that it should be stressed more because that's the only way he's going to get damn stronger, you know? But that isn't thought of in this world. So coaches will just go ahead and say, we're going to trap bar instead. We done deadlift in season because studies show, right? Come back to the studies show that athletes are more prone to get hurt. The reason they're more prone to get hurt is because usually they can't deadlift, a lot of them. They don't know how to do it properly. Right, and sorry, but that's just the reality of it, you know?
It's funny though, isn't it? How people are, we think of all other areas of the body as like areas that you can strengthen and like you said, make more resilient. But yet when it comes often to the back, even someone who's never had, you know, back issues or anything, it's like, whoa, careful with the back. You know, don't bend the back. Don't lift with your back.
Yeah.
Don't do this with your back.
Yeah, and it's messed up. You should use your back.
Like the Jefferson curl, whether people like it or don't like it. It's like often, you know, you could look at, you know, search up posts on social media and someone lifting with a heavy Jefferson curl, and there'll probably be someone in the comments saying, yeah, you're going to end up in an ambulance or something because you're training spinal flexion.
What happens when you need to pick up a can of paint off the floor in your garage? You know? What happens when you need to pick your grandchild up from the floor and you need to pick them up and put them on your back? I'll tell you what's going to happen if you don't expose yourself to any stress or if you keep trying to avoid this. You're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're not strong, right? And when you do a trap bar, it's a different movement to a barbell deadlift. The whole point of doing a barbell deadlift is to work the musculature that are responsible for hip extension. And that means that you position your hips in a place in which they can maximally recruit those muscles and we can load them, right? The barbell is out in front of you. And this means that the dynamics of the lift compared to a trap bar deadlift are completely different. A trap bar deadlift displaces the load to your sides in a neutral grip. You're stood in the middle of the weight. And you're in a kind of like a hybrid squat position because of this. And this completely negates you having to use your muscles, like your hamstrings, like your glutes, like your low back, that are going to be worked entirely different when you use a barbell deadlift. And so when you do a trap bar deadlift, it's quads.
Yeah, that's all I ever used to
Right?
get with it.
It's quads because you're squatting the bar, right? Of course, you're going to recruit some, some of the musculature in there as well, but the emphasis is going to be your quads. It's a different movement pattern. And so when you see people trying to replace it for a barbell deadlift, it's the wrong substitute, right? And so why I believe there's no place in the gym for a trap bar deadlift is because a deadlift does the job way better. You're actually like using that musculature. Like you look at, I said this the other day, sprinters, right? Sprinters are obviously some of the best sprinters in the world have massive hamstrings and glutes.
Glutes, yeah.
Right?
Because the hip extension.
Hip extension.
Yeah.
Like those are the muscles that make powerful athletes. And the deadlift trains those muscles. Trap bar does not, right? And then you look at, okay, well, again, some quads in this, Sam. Do you know what trains the quads and the whole unit together a lot better than trap bar? A low bar back squat, because you can actually take that muscle mass across a longer effective range of motion, creating more stress.
Yeah.
Whereas a trap bar is kind of like a partial, weird-looking squat. So... And people say, oh, we use it for power development because it's easy. And look, all power is expressing a force quickly. That's all there is. And it doesn't matter if you're doing a trap bar. It doesn't matter if you're doing a deadlift. It doesn't matter if you're doing a barbell back squat. Like, ultimately, as long as you're moving that load as fast as you possibly can, you're training power.
Yeah.
So...
Shut it down.
Hey, push the mic away.
Yeah,
just a subtle push away.
I'll dig up the old video of me doing trap bar deadlifts in the gym.
I just think it's a waste of space.
Yeah.
I really do. I just think.
I've seen a lot of like coaches use it with football players. Again, the reasoning I can't say is that because they don't want to coach the football player how to deadlift or what? I don't know.
No,
I see it all the time.
It's a true football coach is the worst for it.
I saw one the other day. I was going to send it to you, just to spark a light up your ass.
You do this often. For people listening, Chims likes to trigger me. Chims will just drop in my DMs with the coach, or like, what's your thoughts, or something like that.
And it was a guy who trains football players, and like I think like some not Premier League or anything, but it's like decent like professionals, and he had a big pretty big following, and scrolled through a couple of his posts, and one of them was, if you're a football player, don't train like a bodybuilder. And they showed, don't be barbell bench pressing. And instead he showed one of his clients who was a football player, presumably, actually in the gym in Portugal, and he had him on a Swiss ball, single arm dumbbell pressing. Don't train like a bodybuilder if you're a football player.
Because increasing your force production is not going to be beneficial to you, so we're going to find any possible way for you to minimize your ability to produce force. Is there any better way than getting on a Swiss ball with a dumbbell using a single arm? I think not. It astounds me, mate. It astounds me how people come to coaches to like get better, I want to get stronger. I want to get better. I want to be a better athlete. And then coaches in return will do anything.
Make up exercises. That's the one that gets me, when someone makes up an exercise almost.
Sure. I mean, it's just... But they'll do anything but train the thing that needs to be trained. So they'll get someone on a Swiss ball doing a single arm dumbbell,
with bands and stuff, and that's the one. It's when someone makes up an exercise with bands, and I don't know, just to take away from other exercises that will get the job done better.
It just astounds me, man. It really does, and I understand, of course, there's a lot more to strength training and just squatting and deadlifting and bench press. I get that, right? I understand it. But you can't, and it doesn't detract from the fact that is your base. That is your, like, you look at strength, speed, power, wherever what else? Flexibility. Any other qualities in training you can think of? Strength, speed, power, flexibility.
I guess endurance.
Yeah, that's one, obviously. What's one thing that positively affects all of those aspects? How much force you can produce, how strong you are.
Yeah.
If you get more flexible, that's not going to make you stronger.
No, yeah. Otherwise, the yoga
Exactly.
people would be.
Yeah, if you get more endurance, that is not going to make you stronger, right? If you get stronger, that could potentially affect your endurance by improving your stride length, right? If you get stronger, that is going to improve your power production, despite what many of these strength coaches say. If you improve your strength, say through full range, like I teach, guess what? You're going to be more flexible and more mobile, right? But no other quality does that. So all I'm trying to say, and I feel like sometimes I'm on top of the mountain shouting out to the ocean, like if you are not training strength as an athlete, as anybody, if you are a human being and you are not training strength, you are missing out on a massive part to the puzzle. And at some point, if you are serious about this, you will be training for strength at some point, because that is the goal, for everybody at some point. It's where you start.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I can't, because when I was squatting on Monday, I'm in the gym and I'm like, fuck's sake, why is this so hard? And then I'm like, oh, maybe I can go back to the trap bar instead. That was my thought. You put that to bed now. So I was gonna buy one.
You were gonna buy one?
No, I wasn't gonna buy one.
I was like, yeah. I don't know where I am, mate. I feel delirious. I've just brought so much energy to this room. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I've got anything else to add on there with the trap bar. I think I pretty much covered that one. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, probably, and I probably
drive up the engagement on Instagram.
Just bringing hatred towards me. Right, okay. Let's change the topic before I start screaming trap bar continuously. Trap bar. I hate trap bar. All right. I've been struggling with shoulder pain lately, especially during pressing movements like overhead press and bench press. Should I take a break from these lifts, or are there modifications I can do to work around the pain?
Do you want to go? You're going to be the man for that.
Okay. I would like to see the technique first, especially on press. Usually when people get pain on press is because they're not locking out properly. You can develop shoulder impingement if you're not locking out your press properly. You need to shrug your traps up at the top position to help support the bar. This prevents any type of shoulder impingement issues. So again, the whole thing, people blaming the press. It's not the press, you're just doing it wrong. I'm just too much energy today, and too much energy. The bench press, again, I'd like to take a look at technique there. I'd like to take a look at programming and how they're loading it. There is a thing, like some people do get a little bit of an issue with their shoulders. And I would bring in the grip in that case, and I'd probably use a close grip, so you can do that as well. But yeah, I think that's all you need to add there. Anything else you want to...
No, not at all.
Add on there? This is a good one for you. Do you recommend any specific mobility exercises for improving hip flexibility? My hips feel tight doing squats, and I'm not hitting depth comfortably. You're the mobility man.
So I think
start calling you the mobility man.
I wouldn't. I mean, I've got reasonable mobility in some.
You've got
some
pretty
ways,
good mobility. You do those. So. What do they call them? The reverse.
Reverse Nordic.
Reverse Nordic. Yeah. You're like this coming down, presenting yourself.
I know someone said, I think I was one day. I think it was a football game, and And they were like, all right, we've gone through the general team warm up, and they went, right, everyone go off and do any stretches you want to do now. Open up any tight areas. And I always just do reverse Nordics to open up through my quads and hip flexors. And someone's like, friggin' hell, James is doing Kama Sutra. For fuck's sake.
Just all serious, just going back, just all. Just, I don't know. There's something about that movement.
Yeah.
Kama Sutra is pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. So what was it like? Hip mobility. I think again, if you're like split squats, I think are pretty good. I think they're a great exercise. Not just because I work for ATG. Before someone says, "Oh, just because you work for ATG," but no, I do think an ATG split squat is like excellent mobility tool. So that probably may be one of my go-tos if you get strong in that. Yeah, you're gonna, and then likewise with a squat, depending on where your limitation is. Again, getting stronger in that movement, just exposing yourself to that depth under load is going to improve your mobility there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like a bit off topic, I know, but like this is where I don't get people that just unrack a heavy weight and walk it out to improve their squat. And it's like, I want to potentiate myself. It was like, it feels entirely different in the bottom,
Yeah.
Like when you hit that bottom position.
What do you mean, just walk out and then just to feel it on their back and then walk back in?
Yeah, and they just walk it out and like, oh yeah,
yeah,
bro,
I'm ready. And then as soon as you
ready.
start going down, it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get that personally. Like you just brought up a good point there. Like, if you want to get better at a squat, train the squat. Hit that bottom position, be mobile in that bottom position, load in 120% and just walking around ain't to do anything.
Yeah.
Anyway. What's your take on belts? I've seen some people use them for almost every lift, while others say you shouldn't rely on one too much. When is the right time to start using a belt?
No, 100% you shouldn't use a belt.
James is one of them. No wrist wraps, no belts.
Yeah, no belt. Your core is
you
your
actually
belt.
don't have a belt, do you?
I don't have a belt, but then I'm not a powerlifter on my, so
No.
I'm not like my squat numbers are not up anywhere near where I think I would.
See, I would actually say a belt would be a good idea.
Would you? It would benefit me. Would you?
Yeah. I can send you some resources and stuff as well. The thing is, it's not really like I suppose belts are more kind of like in relation then to more powerlifting, aren't they usually?
I didn't know if I'd be at relative to my strength, relative to my weight, if I would be at high enough intensity that I would
warrant one.
Yeah, warrant one.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I guess we could try one day and see if we get.
I think it'd be a good idea.
And obviously, it's not about supporting your back; it's to be able to brace against. Isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, go on. So,
well, I was just gonna say, like, it's just a tool, you know. So, like, there's this whole misconception online. It's a bit of a old wives' tale. You hear people like online. They say, "Oh, it'll make your core weak," and that's not the case. Like, simply down to the fact that if you can lift more weight, there's more mechanical tension going through your body.
Of course, yeah.
There's more load those muscles are going to be exposed to, and those muscles are going to be stronger, not weaker. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to work that out, right?
Yeah.
So a belt is just a tool to help improve that breathing and bracing ability. And as a byproduct of that, you're just going to be a bit safer. That's all there is, And belts, like, where do you get them from? I mean, Strength Shop, I think, are really they're quite good. Like, if you
is that yours? Is that where yours is from?
No, so I've got, I suppose, a Strength Shop would be like, if you want a good belt, but it's not going to cost you, like, you don't have to take a loan out for one. Like, it's a good starting point. And they'll range probably anywhere from, I don't know, maybe like £50 to £80, something like that, depending on what you want. If you're looking for someone was a bit more expensive, then you can go and pay a couple few £100 if you want to. And of course, it's like anything, the more you pay, usually the quality's a bit better. SBD are good. I've got one from Cardillo. or Cardillo, and I got that mine shipped over from America.
Yeah.
I personally just like that look of the classic. It's a classic make, when the way they put the name on the back and stuff like that. That thing's I think that's probably my most prized possession.
Yeah.
So it depends. It just
You
depends
can't use that in a competition though, can you?
I can't.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that annoys me about powerlifting, mate. The whole bloody they have to pay a sponsorship fee and all this to be IPF league. That's all there is. It just comes back to money.
Yeah.
That's all there is. It's ridiculous, Like, what difference does it make if I wear an SBD belt because you get more money for your competition, versus where I wear my own? I was like, get out of here, Same with the socks as well. You have to have like, I'm not sure about the socks actually, but the wrist wraps and knee sleeves are the same. Like, they have to be IPF approved, and it's just tiresome. But yeah, anyway, should we leave that one there? Job done. I'll do this one because you did the last outro. Can't have you taking all the...
Otherwise, it'll be like the thumbs up. Taking control of the situation.
We were saying that, I don't know, it is strange when people always give the thumbs up.
They say, I don't know, they say something and then put the thumbs up after it. That's why I did it, because I never do it. And I think I just did it to you the one day, and you were like, it's like you taking like the authority of the situation.
Yeah, they take the authority. It's like, I'm in control here, so...
I'm saying what's going down and what's not. Yeah,
the thumbs up stamps the authority on the message. I may bring it back because nobody uses it really anymore, unless you're like a 55-year-old dad or something like that, But I may start bringing it back as a 26-year-old man, I just start texting Lainey with thumbs up. Yeah. I'm gonna bring it back. It's a good move. It's a good move. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed, leave that rating and review. Subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.